Welcome to ReEnvision, the podcast where we explore what truly happens when we embrace change as one of life's most profound rhythms. I'm your host, Bédard, and together we will embark on a transformative journey, finding joy and happiness amid life's shifts while strengthening our hearts, cultivating our resilience, nurturing the courage to evolve, and to uncover our own ability to thrive and move forward. Here, we have full permission to be ourselves, to explore, to discuss, and to simply be. We'll tap into the deep knowing that has always been within as we navigate change with simplicity, lightness, and fluidity, open to new understandings, new perspectives, and even new possibilities. So whether you're seeking inspiration, empowerment, or simply a space to reflect and contemplate, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to the ReEnvision Podcast. I am so happy to be back in front of my microphone to talk to you about something that is very close to my heart. Now, this episode was not the one that was planned for the second episode. There's about a month of differences between the recording of the first episode and the recording of this episode. And I think there was a reason for this. I think that it needed to be, I needed to, after doing all the graphics, the branding for the podcast, and sharing something very, very, very intimate, I needed some time to just breathe. And when I started to plan these episodes, the three first episodes, they were actually laid out, the subjects were laid out. And for some reason, I couldn't bring myself to record the second and the third one. With the experience that I have, I'm somebody that actually can willpower through a lot of things. I can make myself do things and power through, and a lot of the times it's at great cost to my well-being. And over the years, I've learned that when I feel that there's something that needs to be put down and reflect and take a step back, I do, instead of power through, because I think that willpower is great, but it's a tool that needs to be used at the right time, like any other tool. So during this month period of time, after recording the first episode, I went through the medical system here to do my regular checkup for breast cancer prevention. Now, if you've listened to the first episode, and if you haven't, I suggest that you do. My mom passed away from breast cancer. So obviously, since she passed away, I've been following up with doctors to make sure that I am preventing or screening closely my health on the matter. And when the last time we actually did that, I was in Canada. So in 2021 or in 2023, it's going to be 2 years soon. In 2021, we decided that we were selling the house, we were selling the cars, we were selling pretty much everything that we owned back in Canada. We lived in Montreal, and we sold everything or gave everything away, and we uprooted our lives and moved to Germany. Now you're gonna ask me why Germany, and this can be a subject for a future episode. But in a nutshell, my husband is German. He's born in Germany, but he immigrated to Canada when he was 5 years old with his parents. And in 2018, his parents decided to sell everything and come back to Germany. So in 2021, still in the pandemic, we decided to move our lives here. And what we did was we put some of our belongings in 11 boxes that we had shipped here, and we left Canada with our luggages. So we had 2 luggages each, plus our carry-ons and the dogs that were with us. So we have 2 dogs that came with us. And we decided to embark on this wonderful adventure to live in Europe, which has always been a dream of mine, and I was very happy to be able to do this. Now, circling back to what I was telling you about this was that Since early 30s, I've been going for mammograms and having my health closely monitored to make sure that if something were to pop up, that it could be identified and taken care of rapidly. So the last time I had a mammogram, I was in Canada, and when I arrived here, first months were pretty dire. We had a lot of challenges, I'm gonna say, and I decided that I was going to just wait a little bit. And when we move in where we live right now in the forest, we found a doctor that is wonderful, but he doesn't do any women's health specific exams. So this year I decided, okay, I need to find myself a Frauenarzt, so a OBGYN or a gynecologist or somebody that would take care from now on of screening for me. And I found this wonderful doctor nearby in a clinic that is specialized in breast cancer prevention, and women's health altogether. I'm going to keep that part for a further episode because the healthcare system here is just simply something absolutely different than what I am used to in Canada, in a good way. But anyways, so during the period of time that I took a break, I was going through all these tests. So I went to see the new doctor, and then she sent me for a mammogram and a sonogram. So I've been thinking a lot about that, and every single time I go through this, it kind of taps into a fear, I guess, which is not necessarily a fear that is on the forefront of my mind, but it's certainly something that I live with. Like, you know, when we have family history, we always have something on our mind that, you know, might not be, and that would be the subject of the next episode. But all that to say that I have been dealing with some fear, and every single time I was thinking about coming back to the mic and talk to you and record, it was kind of like, I can't do this. Which is weird because I have given conferences, I have taught to hundreds of people over my lifetime, and it's not about the talking, because the other thing is when you're recording a podcast, it's not that like it's live, right? I'm recording, I'm in my recording studio in my office, and once it's recorded, I can shut it off, I can cut and paste, I can take even breaks, you know, like in recording the first episode, I was taking breaks because it was quite emotional for me. And so it wasn't really about the recording itself. And I started to think about what was different about this medium? What was different about the intention that I put into this medium that was going to be different from what I did before, whether it was lives on social media, whether it was conferences, whether it was giving classes, teaching. And what struck me was that my intention was to be more intimate. I am a huge podcast listener, and I've noticed that in the times in my life where I listened to podcasts more often was when I was going through shifts. I was going through changes, and I wanted to get more information about certain topic and bounce ideas around with what other people thought and how they live certain ways, because I was curious to see how it would apply, how it felt. And it was in my own little world, in my ears. I could download it and I could just go and be wherever I was going to be, whether it was at work and I was doing some stuff and I was listening to a podcast, or I was in my kitchen cooking, or I was out in the woods and listening to podcasts. And it struck me that it was more intimate. And then after recording the first episode, which was pretty intimate and intentionally so, obviously, I touched a side of me that was afraid. Now you're gonna say, okay, Marie-Ève, you've actually uprooted your life, sold everything, left everything behind, moved to another country where you actually do sort of speak the language, but you're certainly not mastering it. You're deciding to build a life in another culture, 6,000 kilometers away from your loved ones, all the connection that you have. And on top of it, decide to start a business. And you've been doing this and keeping at it for years now. But now this is getting you fearful. Now, fear is a very interesting thing because it's there for a reason. Fear is there to, it's a survival thing, and it's normal to experience fear. And a lot of people that experience fear, and I was one of those people before, I thought that the key was to have no fear in life. And it's not the case. It's just not the case. And when I was thinking about the podcast name, ReEnvision, so to envision a life in a new light after we've been experiencing some changes in our life and things shift into a territory that we haven't thought of or envisioned of, or a possibility that was not there, we envision life. And when I was thinking about sort of the slogan, change is embedded in our human experience. What we are here to experience is through change. And at first I called it ReEnvision, embrace change fearlessly. And then I was like, what? Why fearlessly? There's no fearlessly here. There's no fearlessly here. And if you actually look at people that are daring, that are doing stuff, that are actually putting themselves out there, that are creating, that are changing the world, that are building for the future, that are creating something bigger than themselves, that are living their life with purpose, they're not doing this without fear. They have fear. And I was like, it can't be embrace change fearlessly, because embracing change comes with fear. We actually we need to not eliminate the fear. We need to walk with the fear. And it brought me back thinking about Brené Brown's courage and vulnerability. And while I was remembering all of this, I was like, okay, what am I why am I fearful? What's the fear? What is the fear telling me now? And what am I afraid of? And it wasn't to talk, and it wasn't because I didn't think that I could do this, and it wasn't because I thought that it wouldn't be good, because I'm doing this for me, but I'm also doing this for people that actually need to hear what I have to say, or feel heard, or feel seen, or feel the purpose or the rekindle of their inner light through what I have to say and what I have to share. And the fear was that, for one, because I wanted this to be more intimate, I needed to show up in a different way than I had before. And I think that throughout all the experience that I've had in my life, especially the last 2 years, where before we left Canada, we had to deal with a lot of projection from other people and a lot of frustration and a lot of different emotions. So just a whole bunch of different stuff, and just the way that things unravel, and the fact that I'm so far, and the fact that there's a time difference, it kind of shifted the connection that I have with my circle. And the weird thing is that I've walked so much with fear throughout the process that I didn't even know, and I had to make sure that I had the bandwidth to take care of myself through this process, to take care of myself while I was sharing vulnerable aspects of my life, of my experience, but also sharing in the episodes that are coming, that are going to be with the guests, sharing and holding space for them to be vulnerable. Because vulnerability has been seen like such a thing to avoid, because it makes us uncomfortable, because we cannot keep people at arm's length and expect connection. So we have to go through the vulnerability to tap into our creativity, to find connection, to love and to be loved and to belong. So this morning when I woke up, I actually said, okay, well, I'm going to walk with this fear, and I'm just going to record this episode, and I'm going to talk about this, and I'm going to share this with you. And this is why the podcast is called ReEnvision, Embracing Change Courageously, because there cannot be courage, courageous living, greatly daring without vulnerability. Thank you for being part of today's ReEnvision episode, where we explore the incredible journey of embracing change as one of life's most profound rhythms. As the seasons of life shift, we hold the power to navigate our path with courage, intuition, and wisdom. Embrace change with an open heart, for within lies the potential of a remarkable growth and evolution. If you know someone who would benefit from this conversation, I'd be honored if you shared it with them and spread the love. If this podcast has resonated with you, please subscribe on your favorite platform, leave a heartfelt review, and share it on social media. You can stay connected with me on social media with the handle @ME_Lifestyle_Design, where I continue to share insights and inspiration. Until our next encounter, keep exploring, embracing change, and finding joy in every moment. And remember to always keep re-envisioning your life with love and purpose. I love you, I see you, I feel you. Take care.